We're back and we have celebrity publicist Christal Jordan with us. Now, I want to talk to you about this whole Ray Rice NFL situation, right? Now, one of the first things that came to mind was after the initial instance, they had like maybe a press conference or two, right? Which many people have since criticized. What do you think about that and how they've handled the whole situation before this whole thing blew up again?
I don't think they handled it correctly. But I think that I was mortified when, they did the press conference so quickly afterwards. I just can't imagine that they had time to actually meet with responsible counsel about that. I think a lot of times people react and they want to defend themselves or they want to convince the public that it's not as bad as it looks. And I think they did the wrong thing. I also think that the Ravens, that's the team he plays for, correct? Mm-hmm. I think they were irresponsible in, making a jump decision, because at this point, in my opinion, they look irresponsible, so there needs to be some crisis PR on that side also. But I think that the couple definitely, in my opinion, was ill-advised to actually do that press conference that soon, especially considering, usually in most situations, it definitely helps for the female partner to, be there at the side. It shows uniformity and togetherness. But I think that, will come back to hurt both of them at this time.
How do you think they should deal with the situation moving forward?
It's a lot. It's a lot. I think that the best thing right now is just to be quiet. I think that the worst thing that he can do is to speak right now, because there really is no explanation for what he did. There's no way to make it right. I don't even think that she should say anything, because there really is no right reason for her to be back in that relationship. So I think that they should be quiet for a while. That's a really big, important part of a crisis plan that people don't usually utilize. No one wants to be quiet and just kind of get a game plan, give things a chance to blow over. The usual things that he can do, he definitely needs to be active and take some classes and get into therapy. I would definitely advise a client to get into therapy and do something to show that you are you're acknowledging and you're taking ownership of your actions and trying to fix yourself. Realistically, and this is sad to say, if you're great at what you do, you'll get a second chance.
Now, one of the reasons I think this whole situation has blown up is how the NFL has handled the situation with giving Ray Rice only a 2-game suspension, right? They had to know the tape was going to come out and it was going to eventually get leaked. So how do you think they dealt with the whole situation? And if you were advising them, how would you have advised them differently? I
definitely think it was gross negligence on their part. The visual of him hitting her being knocked out, and then her dragging, like, there's just no way to make that right. And like you said, they had to know that was going to come out. Unfortunately, I think that, you have to protect yourself. You have to throw out whatever's, if you have something on the ship making it sink, you gotta get rid of it. So I think they definitely were negligent in the way they handled it, because it made it appear that as long as he wasn't convicted, they had no issue with it. And that visual is something that a lot of the fans are not going to ever forget. And knowing that they, allowed him to continue to play and weren't bothered by it is an issue. So I think at this point, they need a crisis PR plan as well.
TMZ has become very credible these days, but there's also a lot of sites out there that are just as popular, but maybe not as credible. As a celebrity publicist, what's your relationship like with these various sites and blogs?
Actually, TMZ is a good example, because I've worked with TMZ, and it's just it's a balance. My job is to protect my client, and so sometimes protecting my client is getting information to those sites, and then sometimes my job is to keep information away from those sites or to protect my client from those sites. And TMZ, I think, I've had some negative run-ins with them as far as being very insensitive to certain things, and even media takeout. We've had issues, but overall, I try to keep a positive relationship with them, because they do good work. And, a lot of times when they're reporting the bad, it's reality. And a lot of celebrities utilize them to get their exposure up and to keep it up. And so I think they're very necessary. And as a publicist, I just try to maintain that balance. But sometimes, like I said, defending my client means, being on the opposite side of the blog. And I'm okay with that. But for the most part, I just try to keep a healthy balance.
You have season 2 of your web series, A PR Minute. Can you tell us why you decided to do that, and where can people check it out?
I do. I can. A PR Minute, and we were so excited about, Nice Life Entertainment being our producer. It's been a really great partnership, and I have to thank you for that. I'm excited about people seeing this season. But the purpose was because, I went to school to do this, and I know a lot of PR students that come as interns to work for us or that we meet at different events, and they have no idea. What you study in a book is not the same as what happens when you're on a red carpet with a client, or you're at a gifting suite at an award show, or you're at a magazine shoot and your client's doing an interview. It's all very different when you're there live and in flesh and in the flesh. So I wanted to do something that gives up and coming entertainment PR practitioners a little glimpse behind the velvet rope, so to speak, so that they can get a little bit of insight on what you actually do in real time when you're at some of these events or you're in some of these situations with your client. And I try to focus on things that you're not necessarily going to get in that PR 101 class that you took in college. So far we've had a great response, and I'm looking forward to this season being even better.
Unfortunately, we have to go, but what are you up to, have coming up, and where can people find out more about you?
Absolutely. Well, we are Enchanted PR across the internet: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. We have an app that you can download if you have an Android or you have an iPhone. You can download the Enchanted PR app. It's absolutely free, and you'll get our press releases. You'll get some of the PR minutes, some different outtakes from them, and you can interact with us. You can also see us on the website, which is www.enchantedpr.net. We do a lot of different things, so connect with us and grow with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christal D. Jordan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Nick.
Well, don't go anywhere. We still have the #1 song for this week's The Nice Street, and we have Said Nice. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back after this.
The Nick Knight Show, sponsored by Audi of America, Truth in Engineering.